What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of The Bunker, where radiation levels are creeping upwards. We need a key to a door over here. And we are finally... I mean, this guy has never left his room before. Like, this is like his little hallway, and he's never been outside of it, I don't think. So things are getting kind of interesting. Let's check this little room right here. Is that Mom's room? Okay. So we're in the room with the dead lady.
I need to find the fuse box.
Let's have a look around.
Some of my old drawings.
Apparently, we were a big fan of military stuff. Makes sense, given our current predicament and our current confinement. But hey, we're also a fan of dolphins. Just in case, you know, a little bit of aquatic life added to the overall artistic portfolio. There we go. I see a key.
The key. Now I have to leave.
Okay. Was there anything else inside this drawer? It just looks like a big old drawer full of junk. That's like the drawer that you keep like the extra screwdriver that doesn't go with your toolkit, and then like batteries, like extra light bulbs in. What was in here? Anything that I would want? Either way, I think it's worth panning and scanning through just to see if you can find anything, you know, just visually recognize where things are at so that if later on the game's like, uh-oh, you need this thing, you can go and get it. What is this right here?
Mother, I need you.
Mom's dead, bro. You should have... Oh, man, she's like leaking into the pillows and shit. Nasty. Mom's converting into a liquid and you don't have the common damn decency to bury her. Although he did draw a picture of flowers to go with her, so that's kind of sweet. I drew that yesterday.
Mom?
My artistic skills haven't really developed that well. You know how hard it is to get a book on chiaroscuro shading when you're down inside of a bunker?
She liked it when I read to her.
Well, now is not the time for that.
And I've taken the spoil supplies off
and spit it out.
14 months, at best. If we carry on as we are, 8 months. But I've gone over it with Dr. Hart. On bare minimum, we might make 14.
And bare minimum means?
I didn't like to press him, but scurvy, rickets. Christ. Ben.
Then we all just withered away to skin and bone. Maybe I should have just left the hatch open and gone for a nice stroll in the fresh air instead.
What do?
We tell people everything's all right.
It's not all right.
One whiff of this and you'll have your throat slit over the last tin of peaches. Is that the way you want to die, Sam? Fighting over scraps? We could just cut your wrist now and the rest of us will split your rations. Chin up, man. It's 10 minutes until the next bulletin. Fighting over scraps, split your rations. Is that the way you want to die, Sam?
Maybe that's what happened to everybody else. They all just starved. That or maybe his mom whacked everybody so that she could keep her son alive. Never underestimate the power of an individual with a child. There's no audio feed on this camera. Feels very, very quiet in here now. We leveled up, or leveled down, or whatever you want to call it. Kind of dark in here. Let's hit the light switch. Okay, so we've got a recorder over here. We've got a number of, I don't know, ancient IMAX or something around here.
Dan, this is Alex. Please send this out to all the Berkshire stations and let me know. Thanks. Hello. This is Alexandra Swan. I'm trying to contact my brother Jonathan Swan. When the 4-minute warning came, I was on the phone to him. And he said he'd got a place in one of the Berkshire bunkers, but I don't know which one. If he's with you, and his wife's name is Sarah. John, if you're there, or if anyone has any news on him, please let me know.
I had one of those when I was a kid. Not like that big, but basically it was like a little thingy with a deck, and it had a cassette on each side so that you could record from one cassette to another, or you could just like play the cassettes. Old technology was fun. I think my generation was the last like generation where everything was analog, like this right here. Like everything started to digitize probably when I was like halfway through, actually probably when I was early high school. Late junior high is when everything started to become all digital. There's a computer over there. We gotta find a fuse box. There's lots of stuff to look at though. So I feel like we should, oh, it's a Commodore, okay. Never seen one before, I don't know. Seen an Apple IIe before, but had an Apple IIe for a little while. Regional reports. Census unknown, supplies low, fighting, CMSR, Rowland's dead. Goodbyes, generator fuel very low. Rad breach on the 29th. 15th of April was last contact. Request for aid, air system failure. So my guess is that maybe, so they said that we were RGHQ. These are RGF, RGSI, RGS. My guess is that these are other places requesting aid or something like that. Date of October 1996. Taylor Vera, age 46, unknown, autopsy inconclusive. November 1996. Hurley, Carol Elizabeth, age of 32. Cause of death was acute gastrointestinal failure. Possible radiation sickness. Personal log of Sam Collins on the 9th of December in 1996. It's going to be fine. Okay, so maybe fine isn't the right word, but we have enough supplies to make it through, I'm sure of it. If we could just keep it together and be sensible with the rations, we can make it. Sure, none of us are going to get fat down here, but I could use losing a few pounds anyways. And then miscellaneous errata. Things I miss. Eggs and chips, having a bath, my bed, warm sun on my neck, grass chocolate, Natalie, things I hate, sardines, the bunker smell, and level 5. Let's see.
Communication from Bunker HQ, Site 3, Corsham, Wiltshire. Prime Minister delivered safely before blast hits. 4,013 government ministers and civil servants, including Cabinet Office, local and national government agencies, intelligence and security advisors logged in. Shortage noted in domestic support staff. Guess they didn't make it. All facilities operating normally. Checks carried out in infirmary, bakery, laundry, kitchens, telephone exchange, storerooms, office space, living accommodation, maintenance areas and workshops. How big is that place? Trust me, get sent to this sardine tin. Prime Minister unsatisfied with living accommodation. Twat. Other. Civilian casualties noted outside bunker. A group of 50 attempted to breach rear exit blast door. Aggressive action not required. Activity ceased after blast. Poor bastards.
You know, I'd like to think I would feel bad as I was sitting inside the bunker and everybody else was frying, but I'll be honest, I'm kind of a shitty human being. I'd be like, well, them's the breaks. I'm kidding. Obviously, I have the optimal amount of empathy for my fellow man, clearly. At the back of the room, got a couple of doors, likely to some kind of closet or something of those kind. There's something over there as well. Looks like it might be marked for electrical, maybe.
Sam.
He is nice, and he smiles to me with his tiny circular mouth. Either that or it's his eyeball, and he has bad depth perception. Radiation warning map. So we're in level 2 in the main office. Electrical's in the corner over there. So we got 2 offices to check out on this side. And then we'll check the other places. So office number 1. It looks like this is some kind of conference room.
Well, let's say, for example, the hit on Reading was 1 megaton. That would mean we have this radius, only halfway to Basingstoke. Now maybe that looks small, but that's around 100,000 fatalities, maybe 80,000 injuries from the blast and the fireball. That's just to start with. Prevailing wind direction here is northeast. Fallout scatter would be huge. It's likely to drift all the way out past Cambridge, past Norwich even, out to sea. The total number of casualties? Unimaginable. And that's 1 bomb.
Yeah, and you'll forgive me, but it looks like the dry erase marker was getting a lot of use here. I'm seeing like in the realm of 16 bombs, I think, is my count. 8, yeah, 16, I think. So the dose in Rontgen's effect on humans, 0 to 75, no short-term effects, some nausea from 75 to 150. Nausea and vomiting within 24 hours, some incapacitation after 2 days, some mortality at 150 to 250. 250 to 350 is... I don't know what that says right there, but another 4 hour symptom-free period for 2 days to 2 weeks, some mortality in 2 to 4 weeks. Oh, nausea and vomiting, I assume is NNV. 350 to 600, nausea and vomiting under 2 hours, heavy mortality in 2 to 4 weeks, incapacitation prolonged for survivors. Over 600, nausea, vomiting immediately, mortality stretched out to 1 week. The wonderful things we as human beings create to murder each other.
AB welcomes. CB asks clarification purpose of meeting. AB puts forward petition from 18 residents keen to institute post of morale officer. It is felt that CB is not forthcoming enough in communicating current status of bunker to residents. CB makes point that any urgent change in status will be communicated very clearly to all residents when it becomes relevant. In his view, no need for new position. AB cites 2 safety incidents and asks committee if they were aware. All but FH, DM, SC are unaware of said incidents. CB says neither incident is cause for immediate concern. No need to raise panic in difficult atmosphere. Calls on FH to clarify incidents. FH agrees not of immediate concern. AB raises point that lack of trust in bunker hierarchy is causing morale issues. More clarity and openness needed. CB reiterates appointed hierarchy and his belief that no need for additional officer. If any critical incident comes to light, all will be made aware. Requests end to meeting as urgent business to attend to. AB calls for vote on appointment of morale officer. CB says vote will be ignored. Not a democracy. Meeting ended.
So my guess is that it was pretty standard what happened. People started getting all paranoid down in here. They started bitching and moaning and getting upset about things. Probably all murdered each other. We're probably going to find all the bodies on level 5.
I just need to know.
It's all right, Vera.
Nonsense! I know George is trying to hide things from me. I'm ill, Evelyn. I'm not stupid. I'm right, aren't I?
I don't know what to say. I suppose he's just not
It's
sure.
radiation! Then why is he trying to hide it? Why? Am I on the right medicine? What can be done? Why won't he say?
George has been distracted lately. Maybe he's just trying not to upset everyone.
They should be upset. They built this place in 6 weeks. 6 weeks! How can anyone expect it to be safe? There must be a leak. There must be.
Mr. Bishop says
I
that
know what he says. He doesn't want everyone to panic. Silly old Vera having another one of her turn. Look here. More blood. I'm not being silly. I'm not. It's not just me, Evelyn. If there's a leak, it's all of us.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way about carnival rides too. Like anything that you can build with like a screwdriver and while on meth, I don't think I want to trust my life to.
With the greatest respect, sir, we've been up all night. It's been 10 minutes since I had to cover Vera's face.
But is it radiation
I don't
sickness?
know yet. The nearest proper lab is under 10 tons of radioactive rubble, and I have to make do with a microscope.
It's all right, George. We'll run some tests, Mr. Bishop.
Is anyone else showing signs?
Yes, 6 others.
Quarantine them right away. Find out where they were working, what they've had contact with, and what they've been eating. We need a source. Margaret.
It's all right. Come here, love. What's the matter?
I can't sleep.
It's all right. You know, if you stay in your room, you'll be safe. Have you put a tick?
Okay, so let's see what we got in here. Obviously,
There's
this.
nothing I need here.
There might be. Looking at that bitchin' sweater right there. You could have an awesome sweater. And see, now you don't have an awesome sweater. You don't know how to properly scavenge and loot a place. Behind the back of the desk.
Attention, the mains power is about to be switched off for maintenance purposes.
Well, at least we checked something off the list that we were supposed to do, so that's good. Worrying brown residue around bulkhead seals, B71, so on and so forth. Don't know what to do about this one. Upper compound shouldn't be perishing yet. Indicates corrosion from something that it's in contact with. Unless the cowboys use cottage cheese instead of EX compound, which, given how the rest of the place is built, wouldn't be unlikely. Response by C. Bishop. Nothing we can do. No replacement seals. The rear bulkhead beam next to recycling unit A15 showed stress fracturing through paint surface. 2 of the rivets are loose. They're welded, but it looks like similar progressing into roof beams 2 and 3 along adjacent wall. BJ says not major structural issue, but if it flexes anymore, it might spring a seal loose and we could be in rad trouble. Best we can do is foam sealant, but we're running low, or we can seal off A15 completely. Bishop responds. Gone through drawings with PJ and Frank. Can't waste foam. Told Frank to install additional Geiger in A15 so we have warning of bad breach. Unexpected moisture in C12. PJ says might be condensation from the filter system, but one of the purifier lines runs right behind that wall. We worried we might have a leak in the water system and request permission to shut down the system, take off the wall panels between C12 and C13 to look into it. Hopefully we can fix it that way. Trouble is, if there's a leak higher up, we can't get in to examine it because the ceiling there is a solid weld. Response by Bishop. Filter spec sheet says condensation can be caused by rapid warming and cooling of filter system. No cause for concern. God save the Queen. Let's see. Updated roster. I suppose I'll let you just kind of filter through that. I don't really know if we're looking for anything inside of there. And it looks like he was playing around with various Oh, we can actually get it a little bit clearer, too. Okay. Seems like a fairly bog standard roster.
I don't like it here, Commissioner.
No one likes this one. Poor bastard. Okay, and I'm sure you'll shout at me in the comments if I miss any of the toys that are around. That's his piss bucket right there. He really, really likes working. He can't take a break for nothing. Did we already investigate this? Yeah, that was the map. And so we should probably walk around this backside. I went on a tour of a dam one time that was like this, where they converted the dam to be a nuclear fallout shelter for the Cold War. It had like a presidential room inside of it just in case the president was like on the West Coast or whatever at the time of the strike. You got to go in and look at everything. It's kind of crazy though. Ooh, it's the sex drawer. Sex drawer. None of those things seem particularly useful, but I guess that just kind of depends on how creative you are. I know it says Essex. Calm down. I can hear you typing out your comment right now. Okay. Is there anything in the bottom drawer? Danger. Live electrical equipment. Well, that's better than dead electrical equipment. Okay. So we announced the shutdown. Now we identify the faulty fuse. Which they tend to be pretty obvious. If you've ever seen a burned out fuse before, they're not usually hard to identify. You gotta kill the power first though, I think. Before I do anything, I'd say to kill the power. Those are more than likely the fuses.
Locate replacement fuse.
Oh, we're still looking for replacement fuses?
Shut mains power off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I gotta shut the power off first. I would not recommend throwing any of these first. So what does a power main look like? I am not an electrician, so I have no idea.
Here's the replacement.
Okay, man, that's a big mammoth jamma fuse. God damn. So we got the fuse. Now we kill the power. Okay.
Replace damaged fuse.
So now working in the dark. Let's have a look here. That one's okay. You'll know when it's busted. It'll be all burned up and shit. I've swapped fuses out of other things before. Life experience. Usually when you pull it out of a slot or whatever too, it'll have kind of a corrosive smell. There's our guy.
I can switch the power back on now.
Okay. So we've done a little bit of electrical repair. There we go. We'll take this. And the problem with ancient stuff that's been running for a long time is that when it shuts down, sometimes it just doesn't want to turn back on again. So even with this repair, it might not be obliging. Hey! I mean, we're talking 30-year-old equipment right now that's been running non-stop with no maintenance. Who knows the last time this thing got a good grease and polish? And then on this side, there wasn't much else for us to look at. So back into the stairwell we go. And then we've got to go back.
Sound from below. It wasn't there before.
Well, then don't go down there. I don't want to go down there either.
No, I can't.
Hey, nothing to be ashamed of, pal. My name is Splattercat. This is The Bunker. I will see you all in the next episode, where we will go back up and we will check and see if the entire system has come back online or if we are completely and totally hosed. All right, everybody, farewell.